Hello and welcome. This is Chena Titcomb, and I'm joined here with
Kama Siegel.
We're here for the All-Star Ultimate Tour versus Portland Schwa. This is the third game in a row, 3 days in a row for the All-Star Ultimate Tour. We're excited to be down here in Portland. Kama, tell me a little bit about Schwa.
Well, Schwa this year is a very young team. Their average age is 25, and they had a lot of turnover from last year. They are really excited about this new season. They've only been to 2 tournaments so far, and they have a new coach, Derek Gottlieb.
Great. And the All-Star Ultimate Tour is a traveling team of all-stars, all college-age female athletes from across the country. They all played in the 2016 College Ultimate Series. That's sort of the qualification for them to play on this team. And this is, like I said, the third stop on the tour for the All-Star Ultimate Tour. They fell to Seattle Riot on Friday, so 2 days ago, and then went on to play Vancouver Traffic yesterday in a pretty contested but very friendly game and a little bit windy game, so that should be similar to yesterday. They also fell to Traffic, and we're going to get started here really soon. So let's talk a little bit about the weather. We're up here in the press booth, and you'll be able to hear us talk, and there is a crowd out in front of us, but we do not have a crowd mic, but trust us, they're in front of us. We can hear them. They're loud.
They are cheering.
They are cheering. We also have an awesome MC kind of pumping up the crowd, which is also exciting.
Ted Werble.
Yes, Ted Werble. And looks like the out there on the field, it's pretty windy. Blustery, but strong wind, I would say.
Yes, it's going. The wind, as we're looking at the field, the wind is going right to left.
Oh, left to right, I think. No?
Left to right. It's also quite warm, especially out on the field, where since it's a turf field, it's always going to be a lot hotter down there than it is on regular grass.
Absolutely. So we have the All-Star Ultimate Tour in blue, starting on defense. Jesse Schaffner with a pole, a roller pole. Makes it a good distance. Actually, it looks like Schwa is going to like to let it roll out the sideline. Vilmore jogging over to pick up. No mark. Seems like there's some confusion. Oh, she had a misunderstanding of where the line was. It is that white line. Vilmer holding. It's a nice mark by Schaffner, trying to keep them in that windy corner. Out to Tibbles. Finds Flanders. Still on that downwind sideline. Can't quite get it to the high side yet. Wilson Moses holding, looking at Coles. Coles thinks about the deep shot, elects to go for a zippy flick. Wilson Moses shoots deep, and a nice defensive stop there from Jenny Way in the air. So looks like
that was some very nice defense by the All-Stars. The Schwa's having a hard time moving it down the field a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And this will be the All-Stars' first shot to break on the very first point. Got Schaffner picking up the disc. All-Stars set up in a typical horizontal set. Throws a little bit behind Ellen Young. No problem for Jenny Way. And unfortunately, probably some sweaty, sunscreeny hands. That one just flips out. Fillmore picking up, finding Coles. Out to Tibbles. That's no problem. Those high-release backhands are pretty effective if you keep them up in the air in this wind.
Fun fact, I coached Jenny Tibbles in college.
Oh,
University of Portland.
Yeah, Tibbles has been on this team for a number of years now. How many years has she been playing for Schwa?
She's definitely one of the veterans on this team. I'd say at least 5.
Yeah, she plays with it. She plays with that confidence, and she sees the spacing really well. Is what I've noticed. Who are some of the players we should look out for on Schwa?
Well, definitely the leaders of the team, Serbia, Sarah Reed Brown, and Emily Flanders. They are very confident. They're very good at spacing and knowing where to be, and both sides of the ball, defense and offense. Um, I am not quite as familiar with a lot of the younger players, but I have seen them in action a few times, and they're very fast. They're very, they know where to be. They're well coached. Derek is doing a really good job with this young new team, like getting them together with a lot of chemistry.
So let's see. That was a hold for Schwa. They'll come down with their defensive line. What we heard from the coaches is that they don't tend to have strict O&D lines. They like to use their depth to really make an impression on the other team. We've got a very similar pull there from Schwa. Walrus picking up on that sideline. Inside break that just gets picked off by Tuig there. Looking for her teammate, Bethany Kaler. Fortunately, that's a short turn there for the All-Stars. Hansen going to pick up Mira Donaldson, a big mark. And Hansen was looking for Pope, but Claire Revere just had a hand on that. Donaldson runs over and picks it up, finds Kaler on the under. A little bit of confusion as to who is upfield. Kaler launches a flick huck, looking for Ogawa in that back end zone. And I think it just sailed a little too far.
Good look, though.
Yeah, I like that spacing. Yeah. And looks like we'll have Pope, who is jogging over to pick up the disc.
Pope and two other Schwa ladies are here from, they most recently played with Heist. Sam Rodenberg and I can't remember the other one. There's three former Heist players on the team.
Got it. Sarah Reed Brown finds Pope up to Kelly Hansen, not to be confused with Ella Hansen. We've got two Hansens on this Schwa roster. Finds Sarah Reed Brown, back to Hansen in that power position. Not able to connect with anyone downfield. Gonna go with the around to Ella Hansen.
The Hansen
Finding
connection.
Tuig. Nice grab there by Tuig. And back to Hansen. Looks like Schwa is really just looking to move the disc around. They're not scared of the wind at this point. They know that they can trust their throws, trust their receivers.
Wow.
And a shot from
Wow.
Shot from Hansen goes to Bovey, and she pulls it in between two all-star defenders and flicks it in for the score. That's number 8, Pope.
That was visionary. I think that Kelly was on 9.5 when she threw that beautiful high release flick across field.
Yeah, it floated just long enough for her offender to make the catch in between two all-star defenders. That was incredible.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah.
We should mention that there's a lot of Fugue and former Fugue players on the field between the All-Stars and Schwa. Of course, University of Oregon is naturally a feeder for the Schwa team, but they all know each other very well, both on offense and on defense.
Absolutely. And the All-Star Ultimate Tour actually has 4 players from University of Oregon who've played on Fugue. Jessie Schaffner, Haley Walrus, Alex Odie, and Bethany Kaler. And so 2 of those players actually played on Schwa last year. Or sorry, excuse me.
3.
All 4 of
Yeah,
them
all 4 of
played. Alex Odie now plays for Seattle Riot. Bethany Kaler now in San Francisco with Nightlock. And Jessie Schaffner and Haley Walrus taking a step back a little bit from Club Ultimate and getting an opportunity to play on the All-Star Ultimate Tour and focusing on that.
That's probably quite enough. Seems like it takes up a lot of time and energy just to be on the All-Star team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watched the documentary finally. That was really well done. Good job, Tina.
Thanks. I'm glad you had a chance to follow along.
For sure.
So let's see. We have Walrus centering to Scarth. Holding back to Walrus. All-Stars content to swing it back and forth, preferring to maintain possession instead of forcing anything. up to Schaffner. Oh, and
Wow.
her just throws
Patented.
that up. Can she run it
Oh,
down?
almost.
No, unfortunately, it looks like there was a little bit too much inside-out edge there. That disc sort of trails out of bounds. And look who is defending her. We were just talking
Yes,
about that
Ms. Jenny
player.
Tibbles.
Jenny Tibbles. She's fierce in the air. That'll be a great matchup to keep an eye on. Bethany Kaler, Jenny Tibbles. They've played together.
Played together. They know each other well.
Yeah, very interesting. So Weatherhead picks up the disc, looking to center it. All-Star players are forcing the dumps to cut up field. Finds Tibbles. Nice flick up to Rodenberg. Oh, and an excellent poach block there from Revere. Picks it up, moves it quickly. Odie looking for Jesse Schaffner. Tibbles is in the area. Oh, and a nice defensive pressure there from Tibbles. That just
I never would count Schaffner out, even against a really tall player like Tibbles.
Unfortunately, just a drop disc there from Weatherhead. Scarth getting a little caught up in the tape. Walrus shooting for Odie. It's actually interesting. On this point for the All-Stars, we have all 4 Oregon players. I wonder if that's the All-Stars looking to potentially use some of that chemistry that they don't have necessarily with everybody on the team, but trying to create little pods almost. Green to Tibbles, up to Pope, back to Green, finding Flock, Weatherhead, Stratton, back to Flock.
Schwa moving the disc well.
Yeah, Green up to Pope, or sorry, excuse me, Rodenberg, finding Tibbles. Oh, she thinks about it and holsters. Throws in a round, beautiful break backhand, just all that break space. Ooh. It doesn't seem like Schaffner got a hand on that, but just bidding in that lane caused Stratton to lose possession of the disc. Perhaps the contact that occurred between her and Stratton was also a factor. Out to Tibbles, and then that's a score. Schwa is up.
3-0.
Yeah. What do we think about Schwa's ability to work in the wind? What do you think they're doing that's effective that maybe the All-Stars aren't quite doing yet?
Well, one thing that's effective is that they had a 6-hour practice yesterday that probably also had some windy conditions. I don't want to be flip, but I feel like they use the wind to their advantage. I feel like they are familiar enough with it that they are good at capitalizing on when the other team feels uncomfortable with it.
Absolutely. Conversely, I think the All-Stars are still trying to figure this out. We had some wind in the game yesterday against traffic, so we know what it's like a little bit to have to struggle through, multiple possession points. I think that the All-Star game yesterday, the wind was a little bit more blustery and less constant. Today, it's a little bit more constant, which hopefully will actually, work to their advantage so they can figure it out and then game plan for it. We don't expect this score to stay lopsided.
No, not at all. I feel like also the All-Stars, this is day 3 of, their third game in 3 days, and it's probably been, they're just getting used to each other. There's been a lot of travel.
Yeah, absolutely. After the game yesterday, players helped break down, pack up the truck, drove 3 hours down to Seattle, got some sleep, woke up this morning.
Such as it is.
3 more hours drive down here to Portland. We're excited to be here, though. We came last year. This was one of our stops last year.
Right.
And we had a great time, good crowd. And that is also what's happening right now as we look in front of us. There's actually a sizable amount of people out here to watch.
This is a huge crowd.
Yeah, we've got Cut Camp, who just started their week of camp here in Portland. And they brought all of their campers, which is awesome. So we have
53 campers,
53
right?
campers.
Yeah.
So we have the young, up-and-coming generation of Ultimate players here watching these phenomenal female athletes on the field.
And thanks to Java for getting all that set up. This is the first year that the cut camp has been in Portland.
We have Schwa on defense. France picking up, looks off the first pass, up line to Fitzgerald. Those are two Kansas players that have played together.
Oh,
And
nice
Fitzgerald
shot.
launches a backhand to Jenny Way. And great
Beautiful
bid.
bid.
Beautiful bid. I think that fell a little bit faster than she was anticipating. I like that matchup. We've seen Jenny Way in the last 2 games just phenomenal in the air. I mean, she's come up with a couple of grabs and a couple of defensive stops that have been critical to the All-Stars' success so far. Weaver looking for Sherwood. Out wide to Bovey. Up on that high side. Oof. Way thinks about bidding there. Pope up to Reed Brown, and looks like Fitzgerald and Reed Brown just kind of collide. Fitzgerald was thinking about going for to make the D. Sarah Reed Brown is up and A-OK. Perhaps just got knocked a little bit hard there. Kimber Coles will be the substitute. Lindsay Sue on the mark, D3 player from Wake Forest. Coles out to Pope.
Nice.
Back to Pope. Nice give-go action there. Sherwood. I like this movement, this up-line movement. Pope getting it every other.
She's a very confident handler.
Yes,
Pope
beautiful
is.
breakthrow there. Out to Trixillo.
Oh.
And
Yikes.
what a bid. Bovey and it looks like we have an all-star player down. Can't tell quite from here who that player is.
Just hoping everybody's okay.
Yeah. Maybe just need a second to figure out what's going on. It's hot out there. They probably got sweat and sunscreen dripping down their face into their eyes,
Yep.
I imagine.
I noticed that after their timeout, the All-Stars really tightened up their D quite a bit on Schwa's offense.
Specifically on those handlers, I like that they're pushing them upfield, trying to flush out those players.
Definitely. Wow, this is quite a crowd.
Yeah, and they're excited to be here. They're waving around. We've got some giveaways getting thrown into the crowd, some chanting that's starting. And looks like the all-star player is stepping off the field. From over here, it looks like Ellen Au-Young.
Jenny Tibbles is a nurse, so she's performing her nursely duties by escorting her off.
Absolutely. Looks like no foul was called, so France goes and picks up the disc, center of the field, finding Sue out wide to Schaffner.
Great grab.
Thinks about that backhand. Instead, elects the underthrow to Way up towards Fitzgerald. Another high release backhand to Way.
There it is.
And there's that first all-star score.
Very nicely done.
Up that same sideline. Backhand, high release backhand, high release backhand.
That's a good throw to use in this wind, though.
Absolutely. Keep them high. The wind will do the work for you, practically. And it's nice that Way was able to catch that goal.
Yes.
We saw her have that fantastic bid earlier in the point. Good to see her close it out with a score. A little bit easier this time.
Nice footwork, though.
Absolutely. Sure. Making sure to keep those toes in bounds.
So now Schwa gets to start on offense.
So the All-Star team has some consultant coaches, Rory Titcomb, Gwen Ambler, and Mike Lawler. Those coaches are not actually with us on tour, but they've been working with the leadership, the 3 captains, to create strategies and sort of a subbing system for the team. So the players and the captains are not calling lines, but rather they have some people who play mostly offense and some people who play mostly defense. Um, and then they have a couple of different defensive looks. So we'll see what they come down in this time. We have Hansen in the middle of the disc, looking for Villamore, goes out wide to Kelly Hansen. Great defensive pressure there from Kate Scarth. And Hansen just launches a flick and an excellent D from Claire France. She's looking for Ella Hansen deep. And France just undercut that pass.
That was a new defensive look from the All-Stars.
France up forward to Kaler. Kaler looking for Scarth. And that flick just floats a little bit too far above Scarth. Villamore out to Ella. Beautiful inside flick. And Jenny Way is there to make sure that is not a completion. Odie finds Fitzgerald. Back to Odie. Fitzgerald up the line with momentum. Puts it deep to her teammate from Kansas, Betty, France. Break around to Kaler. Kaler trying to direct things. Looking for Kimberly Sprague. Finds her. Minor travel call. Unclear where that front of the end zone line is, I believe.
I actually thought she was in. But I don't have best perspective.
And a beautiful break throw.
Oh, my goodness.
Looks like there was a little bit of contact between Jenny Way and her defender. But it seems like it is a goal. France with that goal. That's a break for the All-Stars.
It is.
Yeah.
They're finding their rhythm.
Yeah, that timeout seems to have worked for them. They came out of it and scored 2 points.
Now tell me, Caitlin Fitzgerald, she was the one who was on the tour last year, but she had an injury, right?
Absolutely. So Caitlin Fitzgerald from Kansas we had brought her on board pretty early on. Very impressive defensive player with a lot of fire, a lot of offensive power as well. And 2 weeks before the All-Star Tour started, she was playing Summer League, and unfortunately there was a collision with another male player, and actually broke her arm, and she has, I think, like 18 pins in her right arm. But I think that has really pushed her forward, strangely enough. She's wanted to get back on the field. She saw what it was like on tour last year. She was on tour for the first, I think, 5 games with us. And so she's wanted to come back and has worked really hard to come back from that injury.
Yeah, sometimes injuries, even gruesome injuries like that are a real motivator for getting back and better than ever. I mean, I think Bobby, one of the assistant coach for Schwa, he writes a lot about Sarah Griffith. Like, he wrote about her journey with her knee injury, how she came back better than ever.
Sarah Griffith, a Rye player who tore her ACL in 2014 in the semifinals of the club championships, Riot against Fury, and has sort of come back better than ever. Played on the U.S. women's national team this past summer here in London. So looks like we're going to have All-Stars on defense. Maybe they can muster up another break.
Could be. They certainly have a little bit of momentum going at this point.
Absolutely. We have Portland on offense. We've got Pope, Tibbles, Sherwood, Hansen, Stratton, Weatherhead. It's a little hard to see from so far away. Is that Coles on that far?
It looks like Coles, yes. Also, fun fact, it is Julia Sherwood's birthday. Happy birthday, Julia. Number 18.
Weatherhead up to Sherwood. Finds Weatherhead.
Ice.
Schwa ripping through this All-Star Zone SAG set. Some sort of combination of all those things. Sherwood to Pope. Trapped on that sideline, but moves it around to Weatherhead. Tibbles, Hansen, and a nice throw right up to Kimber Coles. That's a score for Schwa.
Great movement by Schwa on that point.
Yeah, swinging it back and forth and then finding those angles to attack inside and wide. So splitting that wing once they get across.
I do like the way that the All-Stars are trying out different defensive positioning, though. That's what this is all about, right?
Yeah, it's a chess match out there. I think each team is going to figure out the win eventually, and in that process also figure out their opponent and make adjustments so that every single, as the game continues, it'll, the defensive intensity will ramp up.
Right. Adjust. Big thanks to our refs today. We've got Kyle Christoph on the left-hand side. We've got Andrew Burmeyer from Corvallis. He's like a very large part of the Corvallis youth ultimate scene. So thanks to Andrew for coming up and helping out today in the refereeing.
Yeah,
arena.
we're grateful for these observers. They're donating their time to be part of this. Oh, no problem. They're donating their time to be part of this. They understand that this is important to have showcase female athletes in women's ultimate. So we appreciate their time. I've got Ella Hansen with the pull. Nice pull. Good hang time and distance. Looks like we have Scarth, who's going to field it up to Walrus. Those are two returners from last year's All-Star Tour. Out to Donaldson.
Now Schwa with a different defensive look.
Ooh, great throw by Scarth. Just right underneath her defender's hand. Finds Donaldson. Donaldson finds Kaler. Seems that Schwa is out of that defensive look, and Donaldson just boosts a flick to Scarth. And Scarth gets it on the second attempt. Incredible. Holds on and then calmly finds Claire Revere, who makes that up the line cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another reason we're here, is for big plays like that.
Absolutely. And I like that Scarth had the wherewithal to continue going for that disc once it was tipped. She didn't pull back at all.
Right. Oh, my.
We're getting a little warm up here, so we're getting some water delivered to us. We're excited about that. And
Goodness.
so
It might be windy on the field, but it's not windy in the booth.
So Schwa's up 4-3. And the All-Stars have an opportunity to break here. On the Portland side, we've got Weaver, Coles, Stratton, Green, Hansen, Bovey, and I believe that is Truxillo.
Rodenberg.
Oh, Rodenberg, excuse me.
Or Callinsher. Nope, Rodenberg. Callinsher's right there on the sideline.
Schaffner with a nice pull. Weaver finds Green. She's able to track that despite the sun and the wind. Green, great break throw around to Weaver. Finds Hansen. Out to Green. Truxillo with a deep shot. So a couple All-Star defenders, and Jenny Way just picks that out of the air.
She's everywhere, that Jenny Way.
Yeah, she's an excellent deep target and also an excellent deep defender. Ooh, and a miscommunication. Way was looking for Sprague. Sprague had adjusted her cut to change the angle. Gives Schwa an opportunity to hold here. Weaver up to Green. Holding at that front cone. And Blade over to Coles.
Wow.
And that works.
It does work. And I think part of the reason it works is that The Schwa team is very big fans of Gultimate. They play a lot of Gultimate, so they throw a lot of Gulty throws. They catch a lot of Gulty catches. And that right there is a good example.
Absolutely.
I also think that that was another high count throw.
Absolutely. I think that it doesn't have to be pretty. A score is a score.
And with the level of talent out here, they're going to come down with those.
Yeah, and they can trust their players to come down with those. And actually, we noticed at the beginning when these two teams were warming up that Schwa was doing a drill that was really just focused on catching. It wasn't focused on anything else. Some short throws, some high and fast throws, some low throws, just trying to warm up the receivers to be able to catch anything if the All-Stars come down in a zone and all of a sudden they have to chip away and have some great handler movement.
Be ready for anything. That's that's what they're preparing for. Schwa has only had 2 tournaments, as I mentioned. They're looking forward to Colorado Cup next week, and they're just hoping to, take the momentum that they have from the Elite Select Challenge into Colorado.
Walrus up to Kaler, holding around to Miller, keeping it in the middle of the field, trying to not get stuck on the sideline. Kaler back to Miller. Revere with an excellent undercut there, just generates so many yards. Back to Miller. Donaldson creating a flare cut. Pump fakes Ogawa to come in. But finds Kaler. And Kaler just sees Odie.
Beautiful.
What a great throw, and unfortunately she just can't hold on to it. Wonder if she was thinking a little bit about where the line was, thinking a little bit about where her defender was. Pope did a great job there of just getting in the way and getting good positioning early so that she could make a play. Pope to Flanders. Out to Rodenberg. Inside out flick that I think catches an edge and then catches the wind a little bit. Gives the All-Star Tour a chance for a hold here. Donaldson rifles a throw to Kaler, and Kaler shoots deep for Ogawa.
Ooh.
And what a nice D from Sherwood. Just sticks a hand out there.
Happy birthday, Julia.
Sherwood to Tibbles. Pope finds Rodenberg. Tibbles in a power position. No one going deep, but finds Sherwood, who instead shoots deep. Great throw. Oh, and what vision. She just finds Truxillo, I believe that is.
White Seer.
Oh, sorry, White Seer. Coming from the far sideline, almost like an up-the-line cut, and is able to connect with her teammate there.
Now, Mira Donaldson, I watched the Riot game on Friday. She wasn't with the team just yet, right? When did she join?
That's correct. So she was actually writing the MCAT on Friday.
Oh.
And it turns out you can't really you can't move your schedule.
You can't ask them to.
Yeah. So she, had that date set for a while now. She's been studying and made sure to, set her up for success by allowing her to take that test, and now she's with us. We're really happy to have her. Yesterday was her first game with us.
There was somebody else missing as well. Another BC player, maybe?
No, it was only Donaldson. Of note today, it sounds like for Schwa we have 2 players that aren't with us. One of them is Julia Bleeden, and then the second one, Clea Paklimba, who is actually representing the U.S. national team. The junior U.S. national team, I should say, getting ready for the trip to Poland soon. And
yes, Clea is only 17 years old, and she is, of course, the youngest member of Schwa, and they love her to death. She's very, very talented, has been playing since middle school.
And the All-Stars are missing Janina Freestadter today. France out to Fitzgerald. Zone set from
Oh,
from
beautiful.
Schwa, and an excellent grab by Lindsay Sue. Back to Fitzgerald, acting as the every other here. Wide to Sprague. Finds Schaffner, and Schaffner rifles a flick to that back corner to Sue. This quick movement by the All-Stars.
Very nicely done. That was very decisive.
Decisive movement, and what we saw there was a better job at keeping their throws low. We saw a lot of throws that have been popping up, and keeping those throws low allows them to get through the cup and through those sags to open players. So, Kemma, tell me a little bit, are any of the players on Schwa coaches here in Portland or anywhere else?
Yes, Sarah Stratton, number 77, she coaches Lewis and Clark and has been they had a really successful year as far as participation, and they went to quite a few tournaments. Jenica Villamore coaches the University of Portland team. And Margaret Wilson-Moses coaches OSU. I think that might be it. But, yeah, that's another thing. Like, most of Schwa doesn't live in Portland.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, we have they have quite a few players who live either in Corvallis or Eugene. And then one of the players, it's escaping me which one, it takes the train down from Seattle for every practice.
Wow.
Yes.
Pull is up. Weaver up to Weatherhead. Another zone look from the All-Stars. Got Sarah Edwards chasing on the mark. Weatherhead out to Weaver again. Weatherhead acting as the every other. Finds Bovey. Back to Weatherhead. Weaver is going to swing it out wide to Flock. Weaver again to Weatherhead. They're just moving the ball and trying to chip away, figure out what this zone is and how it reacts. Weatherhead up to Bovey. Got a streaking.
There's another goaltee throw.
Oh, and almost a grab by Tibbles.
Looks like there's a call.
I think there's a little bit confusion as to if Tibbles had possession, and if she did have possession, actually, which player might have knocked that disc out of her hand, whether it was her own teammate or an all-star player.
Right.
Looks like there is no call, though, or it's rescinded. Bethany Kaler remains with the disc, maintains possession, finds Edwards. Great backhand flake.
Yeah, great flake.
Wide to France. Excellent spacing there from that cut by Jessie Schaffner. Oh, my goodness. Another fantastic layout from Bethany Kaler up to Jenny Way.
And then an amazing inside-out flick
I mean,
for the score.
She gets up, she's fine, and she has the wherewithal to calmly throw it to Jenny Way. So impressive.
That's got to fire the All-Stars up quite a bit.
Absolutely. Wow. And it definitely does. You can see them. They're all hugging her and high-fiving her.
Yep.
That was a big play, and I think the All-Stars need that.
And it's exciting for the crowd. I wish that you on the feed could hear the crowd. They're pretty excited about what's happening out on the field.
Absolutely. We got a great crowd out here. Portland is a great community.
I missed one of the coaches from your last question. Kelly Hansen also coaches the Portland State team.
Got it. Does Weatherhead also coach Oregon Few? I thought she...
I'm not sure. I think she did, but I think that since she moved back to Portland, it's a little bit harder for her to... Oh, she does, yeah. According to my notes, she does coach Few. But I'm pretty sure that she lives in Portland now, so I'm not sure how that works.
Got it.
They're hard to keep track of. It's such a, there's...
People are involved in a lot of different ways.
Right. And also, Eugene, like, we think of Eugene as being close, but it is, it's a 2-hour drive. It's it's not just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Absolutely. All right, so Schaffner with the pull. looks like we have. It
Oh,
goes
almost.
just out of bounds, and looks like we have Chelsea Tuig who's going to be picking that disc up. Or excuse me, it's actually hard to see. 35.
No, that's right.
Okay, Chelsea Tuig. She's a player. She played from. She was from Iowa State. Took that team to the semifinals of college nationals in 2014. Incredible player. I'm so excited that she's playing in the Northwest region, and we're getting a chance to see her play here. Hansen back to Tuig. I imagine she'll act as sort of the every other in this O set.
Another fun fact about Chelsea is that she played on a women's semi-professional
And a
football team.
big throw goes up from France, and Stratton is able to get the line there and just come in front of Schaffner. Back to Hansen, finds Reed Brown.
Good to see her back on the field.
Absolutely, after that collision. Oh, and just a unfortunate drop there from Schwa.
Oh.
And so another drop for the All-Stars. Looks like strip, no contest. Sprague finds France. If the All-Stars convert here, this is going to be a break. France up to Way. Oh, and Schaffner just uses her speed. And an excellent grab from Jessie Schaffner right in front of her Oregon teammate, Ella Hansen. Very impressive.
She's just the most fun to watch, or what? I never get tired. I think I watched her Callahan video like 3 times in a row. And of course, she made some huge plays in the All-Star versus Riot game on Friday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the Vancouver game, but yeah, she's
fire.
Yeah, if she is, part of the future leaders of the sport, then it's in good hands.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, she's one of the captains of this All-Star team alongside Caitlin Fitzgerald and Alex Odie. I think the players and the team acknowledge her impact on the field, but it's also awesome to see that they acknowledge her leadership skills and understand that she has more to bring than just her play. And she's willing to be passionate and grind and work hard for the team. Very impressive.
It's also good that she knows her own limits. And I mean, I'm not, I don't know why she took a year off from Elite Women's Ultimate, but we all need a break sometimes.
Yeah, taking care of herself, trying to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of it. We have Jenny Way with the pole. And Schwa will get a chance to hold here. We're at 6s, I believe. Sherwood to Villamore. Out wide to Coles. Sherwood again. Another zone look from the All-Stars. Villamore. Out wide to White Sear. Villamore again. Coles. And Sherwood just got a little too excited there. She wanted to throw, and she traveled, and she knew it even before I think anybody probably called it. Sherwood holding. Lefty to Coles, who moves it out wide to Villamore. Back to Sherwood. Villamore slowly chipping away at this defensive set. Looks like the All-Stars have transitioned into person defense. Flanders up to Sherwood again. Flanders, Villamore. Nice mark there by Lindsay Sue, cutting off the around to Tibbles. Dangerous position to be in. Hansen forward to Villamore. And looks like that's not quite in.
Not quite in.
Almost in. The disc will be tapped back in. And Villamore, Sherwood again. And a big backhand and an excellent grab. That's inbounds this time. That's White Sear with the great grab under pressure from that All-Star coming on her back, but she's able to seal out her defender.
White Sear is the mom on the team. She has a little boy, and Schwa gifted him with his own little jersey. It was very cute.
Awesome. I'm sure he's here watching
He
his
is.
mom today.
He's down there. He's wearing his jersey. You can see him.
Got it, yeah. Ted is got his White Seer's son out on the mic right now, trying to pump him up so that his mom can catch another goal.
Felix never one to shy away from the
Attention.
attention. Yes.
Awesome.
Well, this game is not disappointing. It's a very tight game, and both teams are playing really well, especially considering the heat and the wind.
Absolutely. All-Stars back on offense. Walrus up to Donaldson. Finds Scarth. Forward to Revere, who slides just to make sure and launches a flick to Odie. What a beautiful throw. Odie tries to find it, turning one way then the other, and can't come down with it. That's a great D by Wall. And Weaver is going to go pick it up. I want to apologize before I said that Tuhig was from Iowa. I said she was from Iowa State. She's actually from Iowa, so I just wanted to correct myself on that one. Hansen forward to Pope. Great grab under pressure. Scarth was right there. And out wide to Hansen. Pope again. I love watching Pope throw. She just seems to open windows with her fakes. And Weaver rips a backhand. She's got her teammate.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. What an impressive grab by Mira Donaldson. Reed Brad can't come down with it. Donaldson is just fierce in the air. Donaldson holding. Finds Walrus on that inside lane, who tries to push it forward to Revere, but she can't quite get her hands on it. Pope picks it up and is holding. Great handler defense from the All-Stars. Eventually finds Wall. High release backhand. Another D from Mira Donaldson. Quick transition here from defense to offense. Donaldson launches a backhand, telegraphs it a little bit, but that works out. She loves Scarth as a receiver. They played together on UBC. They know each other quite well. Scarth holding, waiting for somebody to bail her out, and finds Kaler.
Very nice.
For an inside grab.
Yeah, both teams are doing really well at finding pretty small windows to throw into, given the quality of the defense.
Absolutely, and the wind definitely makes those windows even smaller.
Exactly. So this is both teams' chance to take half, right?
I'm actually not sure. We don't.
I think Ted didn't flip the.
Oh, but it's sevens right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're grateful here to have Fulcrum Media, who's doing all this live streaming for us. We've got Luke Johnson, who's working that replay machine, or the slow-mo, excuse me, as well as the replay and all the graphics. And then we have Eddie Chan, who's here on our 50-yard camera line. She's wearing a lot of layers to keep out of the sun. And I'm Chena, and this is Kama. You can tweet at us at QXHNZ. And Kama, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle, well, it depends. If you want Ultimate related stuff, I tweet for our Masters team at PDX_ZFG. If you would rather get boring legal and library information, then it's at Kama_Sue.
Coles stops that roller, pushes it forward to Stratton.
Another different defensive look.
Oh, and a great block from Revere. Just reads the throw and gets into that lane. Schaffner picks it up, looking for Sprague on that inside throw, and it's just a little bit behind her. Cole's jogging over and picks it up. Finds Tibbles. Revere electing to stay in that lane. Looks like this is sort of a saggy poach set from the All-Stars.
Oh,
and
goodness.
a huge rip from Wilson Moses Oh,
Oh, little too huge.
yeah.
The wind definitely grabbed that one.
Yeah, Wind carried that out. That was an impressive throw, though, I must say. She can't connect with her teammate. We'll have Scarth pick up the disc. All-Star still staying in that horizontal stack. A little bit of confusion as to who's guarding who. Revere gets an open under, a free under, and finds Fitzgerald on the line. And then up the line pass just a little too far in front of Revere, and Coles just comes down with it, easy peasy. Weatherhead to Tibbles. And out wide
Ooh.
to Wilson Moses, but I believe that is Wilson Moses, number 6.
Yes.
Wilson Moses. And too far in front. The wind just catches that. Sprague, excellent flick throw to get it off that sideline. And Jesse Schaffner rifles a throw away. The All-Stars really working these unders. Fitzgerald up the line to Way. Finds Revere in the middle. Revere's going to launch it to Schaffner.
Oh, goodness.
And that's no problem for Schaffner. What an excellent
Beautiful
throw.
throw.
I like that she threw it early, and while Schaffner was shallow. She didn't wait until Schaffner had gotten too
Plenty
deep.
of space.
Plenty of space.
Actually, Claire Revere was one of the people, the players that I was most interested in watching on the All-Star Tour. I saw quite a bit of coverage when she was with Mixtape, and she just seems like such an exciting player, and she hasn't disappointed.
Absolutely. And that's half. The All-Stars take half. And actually what we're going to have a chance to see is Cut Camp is going to play a mini showcase game right here in front of us for
All
the fans.
53 of them.
All 53 of them. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to organize themselves, but thanks for joining us.
We'll be back after half.
welcome back. I'm Sheena Titcomb.
And I'm Kama Siegel.
We're here at the All-Star versus Portland Schwa game. The All-Stars are up 8-7 at half. What have we seen from Schwa this half?
Well, we saw a lot of comparative ease in the wind, actually, and good movement, good defense, good positioning, and I think that they're feeling pretty comfortable right now.
So I think the All-Star tourists they started out 0-3. Schwa went on a 3-0 run, and they kind of fought back tooth and nail for that. Had a couple possessions there that were a couple of points that were multiple possession points, and we saw that the two teams really had to grit it out.
But to their credit, they clawed their way back, and now they're up at half.
Absolutely, we saw a lot of great plays happening in the air. Jenny Way had a couple of nice grabs in the air. Tibbles was able to come down with some under traffic. And Bethany Kaler, of course, had an insane layout and then calmly threw the goal right afterwards.
Both teams not afraid to air it out despite the wind.
I wonder if we'll see any adjustments from either team on that side. What might make them more successful, do you think?
Well, I mean, I think they just need to adjust to where the wind is carrying the disc, because we have seen, we saw some successful hucks, but we also saw some unsuccessful ones that sort of tailed out of bounds. And I think that just, the small adjustments that they need to make to keep it in bounds.
So it looks like the All-Stars are going to start on offense. We've got a typical offensive set out with Miller, Revere, Walrus, Taylor, Donaldson, Ogawa, and Scarth. A couple of international players on that line.
Yes, I was just going to ask about how did you find? I mean, the UBC players make a little bit more.
They make more sense.
Right, make more sense. And also the Australian player, you had the Australian player last year. And so Sprague makes sense. But how did you find Ogawa?
I reached out sort of early on into the Japanese community, was put in touch with her via a man named Satoru Ishii, who has actually played with Furious George a couple of seasons back and currently coaches or assistant coaches the LA Aviators. And he said, hey, this is the best Japanese college player right now. You should take her.
Fantastic.
Back to action. We have all the All-Stars receiving. Walrus to Donaldson. Out wide to Scarth. Donaldson just some sagging in the lanes here from Portland, but she finds Ogawa. Wide to Miller. Walrus. Donaldson. All-Stars are just looking a little bit more patient and a little more confident with the disc. A little bit less frantic. Oh, and just a little too far in front for Stevie Miller.
Great bid.
Excellent big. Tuig picks up. Excellent around break all the way over to Green. And then Wilson Moses back to Green. Villamore. Tuig. Green. A huge backhand huck. Got a couple of players. Walrus versus Bovey. And wow, what a defensive stop there from Haley Walrus.
It looks like that Bovey might have lost it in the sun a little bit. It's getting to be a little lower in the sky. That was right where that was.
Yeah, those are two players that know each other really well. And just as I say that, Walrus shoots deep to Claire Revere. Tails a little bit out of bounds. She didn't have the right angle on that throw.
And that's what we were talking about. How do they adjust their flick, or how do they adjust their hooks?
Fillmore's going to be picking up on this sideline here. Looking for Tuig up line. Donaldson's poaching off smartly off of her defender, and Villamore has to throw a huge high release backhand that gets picked off by Revere and Scarth.
That was great defense by the All-Stars.
Revere out to Miller. Finds Donaldson. And then back to Walrus. Little give-go action. Very Oregon-like of her. Ogawa. Easy throw to Revere, who
Beautiful.
just beats her defender to that front cone.
Yeah, I love that little change of direction that Haley had there.
Yeah, she's cleared up that space really nicely, actually, for her teammates to fill through.
I feel like the All-Stars are feeling it. They're up 2 points, right?
Yeah,
9-7.
they're up 9-7. And again, thanks for your patience. The audio here sounds like we're doing our best to be loud and to enunciate. We have the audio that's coming from our microphones, and we don't have a field mic, so you can't hear the crowd, but they're there and they're in front of us. We're up here in the press box, actually, getting to see the entire field from here.
It is a great view.
It's an awesome view. And it's nice and sunny. The wind is still blowing. It's still quite windy out there.
Yes, it's already made a mess of the Schwa tent, which Bobby, their assistant coach, told me was brand new. So that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. The All-Star tent, on the other hand, that Schwa graciously brought for the All-Stars to be able to have some shade, is looking in fine shape. All-Stars pole here falls just past midfield. We have Weatherhead, picking up. Excellent defense from Scarth there on that initial cut by Pope. Looking for Coles. Sprague does excellent work, and that throw goes up, and there's just multiple All-Stars that are just ready to tear it down. France to Kaler, finds Way. Fitzgerald's going deep, and Way will deliver. Oh, and Tibbles goes up and creates some confusion. Coles out to Tibbles, finds Weatherhead, out wide to Bruce. Wow, I actually thought she threw that. That was quite an impressive flick throw, and a hand block there from Kim Sprague gives the disc back to the All-Stars. And Scarth moving perhaps a little too quickly, looking for Sprague. And Pope just gets a hand on that. Out to Weatherhead. Slicing through this junk look. Up to Tibbles. Huge huck.
Oh.
Looks like it's sailing a little bit out of bounds.
How tall is Sprague? She seems like she'd be a fearsome mark.
Yes, she is. She's 5'11", and she looks it. She's tall. Breakthroughs are incredible. Scarth to Kaler. Quick movement from the All-Stars here. France holding in the middle. Fakes off the swing and now finds Sprague. Sprague fakes, back to France. Excellent downfield defense from Schwa right now, I have to admit. Fitzgerald forward to Schaffner. Schaffner launches a backhand, looking for Jenny Way, and she rips it down. That's a goal.
Too easy.
So that was a fast backhand huck. We've seen a lot of them this direction that are just going too high, and we'll get a chance to see it again. That Schaffner hucked away. She does a good job of placing it perfectly so that only Way can get it. And Way doesn't have to do anything spectacular to catch that.
Yeah, the All-Stars are definitely feeling it. They've scored quite a few in a row at this point, if we count the previous half.
Yeah, score's now 10-7. So, Kama, what do you think that Schwa's going to do after this timeout? What kind of adjustments do you think they could make, or?
Well, clearly, I mean, you were mentioning that they had some nice downfield defense, and that was just an exception probably on that Way score. But I think that they do need to take into account that the All-Stars want to put it deep and maybe stay behind their marks a little bit better, and also maybe look for some different defensive looks. Like, they have been doing mostly person defense. We've seen just a couple of other looks from them, various zones or various other junkties, but not very many. It's been largely person defense, and maybe they want to just, play around with it. This is really, Coach Derek told me this is mainly just another learning, practice game for them. They're obviously very excited to host the All Stars, but they also are, working on their season.
Absolutely. And getting an opportunity to play in front of a crowd is unique for a lot of these players, but something that they want to work on and develop so that, when they get to these moments in tournaments, when they're in the very end of the bracket, semifinals and finals, they can compete and perform. So this is a great opportunity for those players. We'll have the All-Stars pulling to Schwa here. We've got a line of Hansen, looks like Marcillo, Flanders, and Weaver, in addition to Sherwood.
Great pull. That one is off the reservation.
And Wall, looks like I missed one. Wall, excuse me. I have Hansen picking it up at that cone. Nice pull from the All-Stars. Alex for a hammer as a dump throw to Weaver, to her teammate from Fugue. Out to Sherwood. Flanders finds Sherwood. Flanders, the lefty, just so deadly with her throws. Sherwood up to Wall, finds Flanders, back to Sherwood. This is a nice look from the All-Stars, and they're able to capitalize, create a D. Nice D by Odie. She's able to make that catch and steal out her defender. Back to Odie. France, near D by Flanders. Looks like there is a pick down field. But
it's actually been very few calls this game. It's been really clean.
Absolutely. Players have been able to discuss and then figure out exactly what needs to be called or not called, rescinded. And it's been no problem. Sarah Edwards holding, finds France. France with it. Oh my goodness, what a great grab from Edwards. A nice flick forward to Way, throw and go. She's open up line. Edwards with a break backhand, and Hansen reads the throw, goes up and rips it out of the air in a huge backhand. She's got an open player, but Sue just launches up and gets a hand on it. Is able to come down with that. Out to Edwards. Faking and making her mark move like crazy. Finds France. France, who launches a flick huck. A little too far in front of her teammate Miller there. Couple of turns back and forth here. Hansen up to Marcillo, or excuse me, back to Hansen. And a great grab by Weaver. Trexillo back to Weaver. Finds Sherwood. Not much movement here from Schwa. Finally, Sherwood is able to reset the stall count to Trexillo. Back to Sherwood. She's motioning her players to get upfield. Trexillo to Weaver. Flanders finally getting it out wide, and Flanders rips it back in. She's got an open receiver. Hansen brings it down for the score.
That was great patience by Schwa to break that zone. It was a tough zone. Definitely, they had some trouble with it.
The All-Stars did a good job of forcing the Schwa offense to stay on the sideline. And Schwa really had to dink it around in that cup, like in those 5 yards in front of them. And finally, they got that throw out to Flanders, who then was able to rip that backhand, finding that open, deep space. But I like that look from the All-Stars. It's using the wind as an eighth defender.
It also makes, a lot of teams, especially young teams, they can get a little impatient. I want to stop dinking it around in the cup and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, just even though some of those Schwa players are young, they still show that they have experience and they can perform and keep a level head in this heat in front of this crowd and we're not surprised. They're athletes. They're very skilled. They know what they're doing out there.
Yes, they have been very composed.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't seem, the All Stars. It's been fun seeing them throw all of these different types of defense, but seeing Schwa adjust and stay composed is really also rewarding.
Schwa with the pole. Another pretty standard offensive line here from the All-Stars. Walrus up to Donaldson, just such a big thrower. She's been so impressive. Up to Kaler, fakes the back end, elects to go around to her teammate Miller. Walrus to Donaldson, chipping away. Schwab throws a zone of their own. Miller looks like transition into person now. Walrus, inside break for Odie, and what an excellent throw. Another inside break to Revere. And another inside great. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What? Bethany Kaler just flies. Looks like Vilmore had a piece of that. Out to Donaldson. Could it be another inside break? Another throw to Beth Kaler. And around back end and said easy to space. Revere just needs to run it out, catches it for the score. I mean, can we just talk about Bethany Kaler one more time?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, she doesn't seem to feel anything when she just, I must have the disc, and now that I've got the disc, I must put the disc where somebody else is going to get to it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that was an incredible grab.
It really was. And she's like, that's not her first incredible grab this game.
Absolutely. Such an impressive athlete on the field.
I know that Schwa is sad that she moved away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to take this opportunity to thank our partners, 5 Ultimate, Cliff Bar, and Eric, as well as thank you to Fulcrum Media, who's helping us with all this media coverage. We also have Nathan Kolakovic, who is filming some highlights for us right now, probably that Bethany Kaler layout.
Definitely.
I'm expecting to see that. And feel free to tweet at us at AllStarUlti or at Chains QXHNZ or at
Kama_Sue. KAMA_Sue. Can't guarantee that we're. Oh, another great rolling pull.
Rolling pull all the way to that back end zone line. And Schwa's going to have to work full 70 yards. Oh, excuse me. She actually did touch the disc, so it is coming in at that back end zone line.
Wow. This is a big advantage.
Out wide to Tibbles. Edwards. Trexillo finds Tibbles. Pope working hard to get open, and Sprague doing a good job of stopping that. Finds Kimber Cole's around and unfortunately just can't connect with Wilson Moses. But wow, what a fantastic grab from Trexillo, excuse me. Out to Wilson Moses.
The crowd was calling for a Callahan, but they didn't get one.
Pope finds Tuig, fakes a flick huck, holsters, instead looking for her dump. And a little bit of a miscommunication there. Schaffner's able to come up with a poach block up to Edwards. Finds France. Up to Sprague. Sprague to Fitzgerald. Back to Sprague. Little give and go action there.
Great grab.
I feel like these handlers are finally starting to understand each other a little bit better. Fortunately, Sprague's throw just can't connect with Schaffner. Easy D for Tibbles. Up to Green. Tuig now holding, waiting for offense. Oh, and she was going to throw, perhaps, but looks like Fitzgerald just fortunately ran through her hand, and that disc popped out. The no contest, disc back in on 0. Tuig in the middle of the field. Out to Wilson Moses. Up the line to Tuig. And an excellent flick throw, and Scarth just...
Great D. Just great positioning.
Yeah, she takes that inside line on Coles. is able to get a hand on the disc. And we'll see France pick it up. The All-Stars have another shot here to break. France to Schaffner, just 2 steps and she's open. Schaffner to Wei. They've had a couple of great connections in these first 3 games. Wei to Scarth, who just a little bit of a low throw. Scarth can't get her hands on it. Now it's back to Trexillo, who finds Tibbles. Wilson Moses. Tuig, not quite in the end zone. Very close.
Watch for a goalty throw.
Green streaks up line. And a little bit of chaos, but Wilson Moses actually comes down with that.
With very tough D, again, by the All-Stars.
Absolutely. Every one of those windows was very small. And we'll see another shot of that goal. Jenny Wei's body flying through, but Wilson Moses able to hold on and just stay right inside that line.
Now, Tina, you explained in the documentary that I recently watched how you chose the team, or how you were able to pull the team together last year. Was it a similar process this year as well?
So last year was a little bit unique. Nobody knew what the All-Star Ultimate Tour was. I mean, I didn't know what it was. We were still building it and figuring out what it was together. This year was really exciting because we changed up that process, and we created an application. So players from all over the country and all over the world actually applied to be on this All-Star Ultimate Tour.
How many applications did you get?
We had over 50 applications.
Wow.
And 50 highly
Super
qualified applications.
That's
I mean,
great.
there's any iteration of those 50 players is going to be incredibly successful. So it was a great opportunity because it had the players thinking a little bit more about what the All-Star Ultimate Tour means and what promoting women in ultimate means to them and how they want to be a part of it. And it also allowed for players that are maybe from lesser-known programs to, showcase their community and be a part of this movement.
And the international players as well.
Absolutely.
That's it's great that you got, everybody knows the Australia program is getting really elite, and Canada, we see them all the time, and Japan, we really only see them in international play, and this year we got to see them at Worlds, and they're so impressive. They're so fast. They have such a different way of playing. It's a treat to be able to see them competing against what we're used to, just like a different style of play. And so it's great to have Ogawa here who can supplement.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, the Japanese, we don't get an opportunity to watch Japanese Ultimate all that much. There haven't been that many Japanese teams that have come to the United States, both on the men's and mixed and women's side. And there also haven't been that many individual players from Japan that have traveled overseas in the same way that there have been European players who have come over to the United States and tried out for club teams, or Australian players that come over. So it's a really unique opportunity, and we love Shiori. We got her to go swimming with us yesterday and got her giggling in the vans. Her English is not fluent, but she's able to use her translating device. So we sometimes, if we don't understand, we can still communicat with her.
I bet it's going to get better while she's on the tour.
Yeah, her English is going to get better. She understands quite well. I think that she just gets a little bit nervous with so many people around, kind of that public speaking. Back to the action here, though. The All-Stars are, up, and we have Donaldson in the middle with a disc. Nice clear there by Miller. Finds Revere. Miller open deep, but Revere just doesn't see her. Donaldson. Excellent throw forward, but just a little bit behind Miller, unfortunately. Weaver to pick up. Out wide to Sarah Reed Brown. Finds Kelly Hansen. Great mark by Miller just to stop that around from happening. And a huge layout from Bethany Kaler, but unfortunately can't come down with it. Looks like there is a foul call, but it seems that Bruce retains possession. Looking for a dump. excellent mark by Kayla. Really can't speak highly enough about her. Looks like there's a call downfield.
Yeah, she's really using the sideline there to help with an already impressive mark.
So we have Bruce holding. Oh, and
Ooh.
just a little too far in front. Truxillo. Donaldson picks it up, finds Ogawa. Back to Donaldson in the middle. High backhand. It, I think, just holds a little bit longer than she wants. No problem for Schwa. Hansen back to Reed Brown. Finds Bruce.
Wow.
A near D. Reed Brown up the line. Weaver back to Hansen. Oh, and another near block from Claire Revere. But it's no problem for Schwa. Vilmore back to Flock. Hansen. Truxillo, and oh, unfortunate miscommunication there.
I think that's Wall on that throw.
Oh, excuse me. Wall.
So many people to keep track of.
That was such. There were so many near blocks by the All-Stars on that position.
Oh, so yeah.
Donaldson looking for Kaler, finds her. Puts a flick huck deep, and excellent help deep on Schwa, number 15, Reed Brown. Hansen around to Vilmore. Reed Brown. Thinks about the high release backhand that we've seen so successful. Bruce.
Especially on this side of the field.
Absolutely. And Hansen. And a huge backhand from Flock. Fortunately, can't connect. She did have her a receiver down there. Vilmore was open. Couldn't connect.
I like the look, though. I feel like Schwa's taking a few more risks as the game progresses.
We have Donaldson picking up the disc. This has been a bit of a long point.
Yeah, and end-to-end, too, not just here and there.
Miller clears out. Donaldson inside, looking for Ogawa, but actually ends up finding Kaler. Great clear by Revere. She actually draws two defenders. Finds Scarth, Odie. Active mark by Reed Brown. Up to Kaler. Up line, Odie.
Again, that Fugue connection.
Donaldson. Fugue and opponent, UBC and Oregon playing together, and a huge shot from Donaldson to Kaler.
To Kaler. There she is again. How many times are we going to call her name today?
Absolutely. And wow, talk about two players from two teams that have a history of just being fierce opponents.
They know each other well.
And getting a chance to play together on the field. That's got to be something special for them.
So that makes it 12-9. Is that right?
I believe it is 12-9. We don't have the scoreboard actually right in front of us. And we're not sure. It is 12-9. We are getting confirmation. It is 12-9. Good to be sure. And we're getting
now,
a little
another question I have. So, again, in the documentary, you mentioned how tough it is on such a small roster to not only play all these very high-level games, but also, you know, the traveling. You do all of your setting up and breaking down, and, you know, sleeping in unfamiliar places, eating in unfamiliar food. When does that start to wear on the players?
Oof. We've been on tour for
right away.
yeah, I mean, we've been on tour for 3 days, and it already feels like we've been on tour for a while. I'm not sure if I'll know the answer to that quite yet. Hansen finds Bobby, thinks about the deep shot, holds it, Finds Flanders, the lefty, just so deadly with her throws, and
Oof.
unfortunately just a little in front of Coles there. We'll have Edwards picking up. Finds France to get it off that sideline. Back to Edwards. Nice give go, and
Way to hold on to that.
absolutely just good job holding on to the disc. Big fakes up to Fitzgerald, and
Oh.
looks like that might have been a block from Ella Hansen. Looks like the players are discussing it.
Chatting about it.
Unclear. They may choose to go to the observer. They may just decide to send it back.
That would be the first time, right?
Yeah. It appears that they are going to the observer. Or excuse me, it's a foul contest. So it's returning to the thrower. So Edwards will retain possession in the middle of the field. Appears as though the All-Stars have transitioned into a vertical stack here as they approach the end zone. Edwards finds Fitzgerald on that break side. Sprague right in front of the stack. And Sprague, what a beautiful backhand break to Schaffner. Loses her footing a little bit, but no worries. Calmly puts it forward to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald with a high release backhand and a nice D from Wilson Moses.
I think that's the first time we've seen that high release not work down the sideline.
Yeah, great wherewithal there from Wilson Moses to get a hand on it. And to be sure, because she was close to the sideline, but you want to be sure. Hansen picks it up, looking for Flanders. Finds her. Wow, what a break throw from Flanders. Incredible. Wilson Moses all the way. That's a full 40-yard swing there. Back to Flanders. A little stagnant here from Schwa, but eventually finds Coles. Then Hansen. Coles again.
Looks like it's another D look that they're having to adjust to.
And Schaffner almost gets the D, but looks like White Sear is able to hold on to the disc. Coles has it again. Finds Hansen. Still on this sideline. The All-Stars are doing a great job putting on pressure. Seems like that throw might have not come out how Hansen anticipated.
Possibly a foul?
Possibly a foul.
Because nobody's moving.
Seems like, doesn't seem like there's a contest just based on their body language. I imagine it will be returning to Hansen with a stall count of 0. Fitzgerald checking it in. And a little bit of a violation there, but all smiles. They're back at it. Hansen looking for Flanders right past Scarth.
Wow.
Pops up, no problem. Coles give and go with Rodenberg, and Schaffner almost gets it, but then Rodenberg again comes down with it. Hansen, Fitzgerald had already started running for offense. Now finds her offender. Coles, and then a nice bid from Scarth, but looks
That
like
was exciting. The crowd loves it. The crowd is into the intense D and the focused offense.
yeah, and we'll get a chance to see that again. That was Reed Brown, or excuse me, Wilson Moses catching that goal. And now it's All-Stars are up 12-10. And just like to take this opportunity again to thank everyone who's made this possible. We ran a Indiegogo campaign just a couple of weeks ago. Thank you to the Ultimate community for really believing in this mission and understanding that it's an important thing for our community to have. So I just want to take this moment to thank everybody for that support.
And I love that the cut campers were able to show up in all of these. I'm looking at the faces of all the girls that are here, the elementary through high school aged. girls who are watching this amazing show of athleticism and talent, and they're thinking that that's going to be me.
This venue is also quite nice, I must say. The turf is nice. Everything is well set up, and it really feels like a sports game, not just us people at a tournament out in the park and people camped out on the sideline. So it's a really nice atmosphere here at this stadium. We'll have the All-Stars on offense after some excellent grabs under pressure by Schwa. Donaldson finds Walrus. Back to Donaldson. Miller. I like that they're trying to reach that high side. Miller, high release big to Donaldson over her defender, literally. Donaldson looking, finds Walrus. Lost some yards on that, but Sue with a great under. Miller thinks about the deep shot to Ogawa. Instead, elects to go back to Sue up line. And Kaler can't quite hold on to that. Attempts the one-handed grab, but wind a little bit too much. Forward to Hansen. She's got a very deep open player, but elects to swing it wide to Green. Excellent throw up to Stratton. And then that is Kellenshire, excuse me. Appears as though there is some call.
Looks like there's a pick, maybe.
Yeah, pick Scarth and Tibbles just running through the stack a little bit. No problem, though. Back in play. Tibbles still open on that upline cut. This could be a break for Schwa. Fakes the around to Green, instead elects to go up line. And that's not in. Motion by the observer is not in.
Oh! It looked like Tibbles wasn't expecting that.
Unfortunate. But lucky break for the All-Stars as Donaldson gets the disc. Rips a backhand. Kate Scarth.
Goodness.
Oh, and that doesn't have quite enough air under it. Scarth isn't able to make up that ground. All-Stars are starting to look a little bit tired here. Hard to see who's on that far sideline, but Green finds Sherwood. High release backhand that's been so effective in this wind. Miller almost with a D. Sherwood to Green. Forward to Hansen. That's a break for Schwa.
That is a break.
And the crowd knows it.
Very nicely done. The crowd is definitely getting into the later parts of this game.
It's a nice movement there from Schwa as we see this replay one more time. That up the line throw to then the back of the end zone, just so much space.
We'll have to see how the All-Stars adjust to this little run that Schwa's going on.
Yeah, that's the first break that we've seen from Schwa for quite a while. A lot of those players on that line will come back, take the line again. It's a small roster, but the All-Stars are confident in their players and confident in the system that they've built. So the O-line will take their spot once more.
Well, it's definitely, there's got to be some great chemistry that is formed when you have such a small roster.
Yeah, that's one of the
quickly.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of having these generally O lines and generally D lines, because that allows for you to only need to really have chemistry with 7 or 8 people. You don't need to have it with all 16 of your teammates.
Right, exactly.
A roller pole just rolls right out of bounds. Sticks the All-Stars on that sideline. Miller. She's got an open Walrus. Goes for that swing to Odie. Finds Schaffner. Schaffner sees Revere, thinks about it. Instead elects to find Kaler.
Wow.
And excellent spacing from Revere.
What a beautiful point.
We'll see that Revere is going to drive with her legs to open up that lane for Kaler to come under to. and then change directions so that Kaylor can throw that backhand. That's an easy score for the All-Stars. That's probably the smoothest we've seen them score.
The quickest for sure. I can't. I'm so impressed with Claire Revere, the way that she gets spacing and the way that like she has amazing field sense.
Yeah. And looks like we are playing to 15. Seems to be a little bit of confusion out on the line. It appears that some of the teams believe that we were in soft cap, but the observers were still under the impression we were playing to 15. But we're excited. That means more Ultimate is going to be played
Ultimate.
right in front of us.
And we couldn't have asked for a better game. It's been exciting. It's been competitive. It's been clean. We haven't seen, who was it? Oh Young who went down on that other sideline?
Yeah, we haven't seen Oh Young come back. Looks like she's been sitting in the shade. She's dealing with an ankle sprain. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what.
She does have it wrapped up.
Yeah, if that's what's keeping her there.
That's unfortunate.
Pope to the middle to Hansen. Another junk set by the All-Stars. It seems to be working, although that was a nice shot through the middle to Bovey. Back to Hansen. Inside break.
Wow.
All the way across the field finds Flanders to Pope. Pope thinks about hitting Roddenberg, and then Flanders wide to Hansen. Forward to Kimber Coles. Hansen once more.
Hansen's doing a lot of work out there.
Excellent grab from Kimber Coles and a nice flick, high release flick that unfortunately Pope isn't able to hold on to. Sprague picks up, looking for Way underneath.
Wow.
What a low throw.
Wow.
So impressive.
Oh,
it looks like
she might have gotten banged up.
Way made an excellent grab and elects to sort of take a moment. Seems like she most likely hit the turf.
Whiplash or something.
Pretty hard. It was a little bit behind her, I think, so maybe she had to change directions in order to make that catch. Way's still out there on the field, but she's smiling. She's giggling a little bit. She's just stretching. Perhaps she has a little cramp. She's thought about getting up for a second, but then elected to just stay down. She is getting up now with the help, on her own volition.
Nope, she's still cramping.
She must still be cramping.
I know how that feels. That's the worst when you want to look at her. She's sliding off the field so she doesn't delay the game anymore. It's take all the time you need. You're playing fantastic.
So the All-Stars will maintain possession and Wayne dragging herself across the sideline, just trying to get off the field. Checking in with her captain, Schaffner. And play will resume. Scarth will sub in for Way. Disc is in. Back to Sprague. Back in forward to Sue. Looks for France. Doesn't like that look. Elects to find Scarth. Unfortunately, can't get a hand on it. And Schwa will have another shot at this offensive hold. Hansen, I expected that inside break. Instead, she elects to go to Pope, who gets open on that open side. Pope swing to Hansen. Fakes the inside, surveying the field. Up to Pope, high release.
Oh, goodness.
Backhand, and that'll work. Hansen with the goal there.
Pope is so smooth out there. When she and Hansen are both, they're really good at the reset, like being the hub.
Yeah, and if you look at this replay, you'll just see Hansen who moves her mark really effectively with her throw. With her fakes, excuse me, and then is able to get off that throw to her teammate Hansen, who's busting up the line.
And we have a 1-point game.
Yes, we do. It is 13-12. The All-Stars are up. This is a long game here, folks.
And we are in the cap now, right? Is that correct?
So I think that was the confusion that they're
with the last point.
That should have been. Hard cap should be going on right now. I'm not exactly sure what the observers are doing on the field. They are, after all, the final say. We'll have the All-Stars starting on offense. We've got a line of Miller, Scarth, Revere, Schaffner, Walrus, Kaler, and Odie. Again, the 4 Oregon players playing on the same line. Scarth to Miller.
It's working for them.
Back to Scarth. It is working for them. A little bit of a handler sag from Schwa, but Kaler's able to find some space. Finds Revere, and Revere with a really nice
Oh, wow.
away flick throw to Jesse Schaffner.
Another super quick point from the All-Stars. That was very smooth.
I think the All-Stars are starting to figure it out, and as we see again, Revere's just going to put this throw out nicely into space for Schaffner to run onto. Nothing too fancy. Everything is perfect, and Schaffner sets that cut up really well by juking her defender under and then taking that away space.
Oh, that's game.
Oh, and that is game. Excuse us, we didn't know if that was the hard cap, but it looks like they
Couldn't
did figure
remember.
it out on the field. Excellent game from both teams.
Wonderful. That was so entertaining. Oh,
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chena Titcomb,
I'm Kama Siegel.
and you've just been watching the All-Star versus Portland Schwa game. Great game. I hope you tune in to catch us on Tuesday. We'll be playing a doubleheader against Fury and Nightlock in San Francisco. Come on out. We'll be at Laney College in Oakland, so we'll hope to see you there in person. If not, you can follow us on the live stream.
Travel safe. Have fun.
We will. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.